In the quiet pre-dawn of winter, my Ford F-350's tire chains clinked as I eased into my driveway in Cascade Heights, a gated enclave above Boulder. I just finished a brutal 36-hour shift at the fire station, battling blizzards and pile-ups, and all I craved was my bed. But before I could kill the engine, Patricia Morrison, our HOA president in a designer parka, stomped across my yard, her boots carving angry gouges in the fresh powder. "Jeremy Hutchinson," she called, voice slicing through the wind. "Take off those chains." I sat for a beat, uniform splattered with road slush. "Patricia, I'm a firefighter paramedic. I need these chains to reach emergencies up here." She flipped open a folder of bylaws. "Regardless of your job, Section 7.4 bans any gear that might scar our roads. Remove them in 24 hours or face a $500 a fine." "Pat, if I can't get out, people could die," I replied, exasperated. "Then call 911 like everyone else." She handed me a bright pink violation. "Consider this your warning." I trudged inside, set an alarm for 18 hours later, and collapsed. When I finally resurfaced at dusk, 30 missed calls awaited. Schedule shifts, my brother, and a voicemail from Deborah at the HOA office, checking compliance. I shrugged it off, showered, and dunked eggs and toast before stepping into the chill. The chains were still on, vital on iced roads under threat of another storm. I dialed the sheriff's non-emergency line. Deputy Mike Reynolds answered. "Can an HOA forbid chains on a registered emergency vehicle?" I asked. Mike paused, then said, "Colorado law exempts EMS vehicles from such restrictions during emergencies. If your truck's registered with lights and a radio, they can't fine you. Send me your registration. I'll get you the statute." Relief flooded me, but I knew Patricia wouldn't bend. I drove to work with the chains rattling and past more crashes than I cared to count. By the time I got home the next morning, a second notice awaited. $500 a day fines had begun. I texted Mike the photo and his statute and called Deborah. "I'm legally exempt," I told her. "Remove the fines." "We'll review," she said, "but they stand until the board decides. See you Wednesday?" I filed the documents and prayed for sleep before the next shift. The storm worsened, I picked up extra hours, and the fines soared. Wednesday evening, I entered the community center for the HOA meeting. Patricia presided over a board of Richard Chen, vice president, Martha Kellerman, secretary, Steve Davidson, treasurer, and Linda Wu, at large. After the mundane reports, she announced, "Violation at 1847 Pine Ridge Court. Mr. Hutchinson, step forward." Every eye turned. I carried my folder to the table. "Your chains breach Section 7.4, Patricia began. $5,000 in fines. Explain yourself." "Under CRS 3833.3316, I said, passing copies around. "Emergency vehicles are exempt from road damage bylaws during state-declared emergencies. Governor Polis declared one January 15th. Patricia scoffed. "It doesn't apply. You're not driving an ambulance." "This is a state-registered EMS vehicle with lights and a radio," I shot back. "The law makes no distinction." Richard furrowed his brow. "Patricia, should we not consult our attorney?" "I have bylaws. That's enough," she retorted. Steve shook his head. "If we enforce fines that conflict with state law, we risk a lawsuit." "Fine," Patricia hissed. "We'll table it. Fines stand." I demanded immediate removal. She refused and adjourned the meeting. Richard caught me outside. "I'll push for an attorney opinion. Sorry you had to go through that." 2 days later, Mike called. "Patricia tried filing a complaint with us about your chains. I told her HOA matters are civil. She won't give up." The saga escalated. Deborah's office forwarded me a midnight email from the HOA attorney confirming Mike's advice. Remove the fines and amend the bylaws. Richard emailed back, "Board meeting tomorrow. Patricia is furious." My captain, Rodriguez, summoned me. "Your HOA is causing a stink. Document everything. If it worsens, will involve legal." As winter faded, Patricia's vendetta continued. A zoning complaint over running a business from my home, graveled complaints about road gouges that no asphalt crew could confirm, and neighbors whispered. Linda Wu pulled me aside at the grocery store. "We're worried about Patricia. She's obsessed. The board may vote to remove her for acting against the community's best interest. You should speak at the next general meeting." I agreed, though dread churned in my gut. At the quarterly community gathering, 80 neighbors packed the room. Patricia opened with her updates, but when the floor cleared, I stood. "I'm Jeremy Hutchinson, paramedic firefighter. I use chains to reach emergencies. The HOA levied fines, but the board's attorney confirmed chains are legal for EMS vehicles. Those fines were reversed." A voice called, "You think you're above the rules?" "No," I said calmly. "I followed the law like everyone should." Patricia jumped up. "Your chains damaged our roads." "I'd like to see proof," I replied. "Modern cable chains don't gouge asphalt." She glared at me, declined to show the evidence, and slammed the gavel. The room was split. Some defended her, others defended me. No resolution, just deeper divides. Later, David Mendoza admitted, "Patricia's always had a temper. I think she's dealing with personal stuff." I felt neither sympathy nor relief. 2 nights later, I awoke to an idling car across the street. I called dispatch. Deputy Garcia arrived, ran the plates, confirmed it was Patricia taking photos of my house at 2 a.m., then warned her. Mike called back. "She's edging into stalking territory. Call us if it happens again." My attorney, Marcus Palmer, ran the file and drafted a cease and desist and prepped a restraining order petition. The hearing was a week away. Meanwhile, Patricia's tone shifted. Neighbors gave me the cold shoulder, rumors swirled. But Tom Carter invited me over. "Patricia once hassled us for having a backyard veggie patch. She thrives on control." At the Boulder County Courthouse, Judge Carolyn Foster listened as Patricia's lawyer claimed HOA duty. Marcus countered with a pattern of harassment. Wrongful fines, false complaints, midnight surveillance. The judge granted a 30-day restraining order. Patricia would have no contact with me or face criminal charges. For 30 days, peace reigned. Patricia stayed quiet. At the follow-up, the judge extended protection for 6 months but allowed her to attend HOA events so long as she kept her distance. To my surprise, Patricia apologized, resigned as president, and mentioned therapy. Under Richard's presidency, the board swiftly amended the bylaws to exempt EMS vehicles and focused on community projects. I saw Patricia once in the store. We exchanged a hesitant nod. It felt like progress. Months later, I learned she'd moved away after psychiatric treatment. The HOA, now under sensible leadership, hosted barbecues and a community garden. My chains rested, ready for the next winter. Then one April afternoon, we got a 911 call to Patricia's house. She'd overdosed. In the ambulance bay, I inserted an IV, administered naloxone, and stabilized her. Her ex-husband thanked me through tears. "After everything, thank you." "It's my job," I said. "I hope you get help." Patricia survived and relocated. I often wondered whether she found peace. None of us knew her demons, but I wish she'd found healthier outlets than picking on tire chains. Cascade Heights carried on. I kept the plaque they presented me, a reminder that small acts can spark bigger battles about rights and respect. And when cold winds return, I'll strap those chains on again without hesitation, knowing I have the law, my conscience, and the community on my side. If you'd like more stories like these, please like and subscribe.